Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. As some of you guys may have noticed, we do have a little bit of a different format in today's video. Got the mic in my hand instead of on my desk. I'm trying to play with it and see if this sounds a little better. So let me know what you guys think down below. But today, as you can probably see behind me, we have the Super Bowl position breakdown. Which team has an advantage where? We're going to kind of be talking all about that today in preparation for the Super Bowl, which is in less than a week. Which brings me to 2 points. A, if you guys are liking these videos, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so you guys can see more of my videos when I upload. Like I said, I've been very consistent with my upload schedule so far, so you guys know kind of what's coming each week. And number two, the Super Bowl is the last game of the year, and then we have months and months and months of depression and nothingness. However, there is still going to be a very active offseason with the trades, with free agency, with the draft. So if you guys don't want to miss any of that, be sure to stay tuned. I will be staying consistent throughout the summer and bringing you guys football content when there is no football on Sundays. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to these breakdowns and see who has an advantage for the Super Bowl. All right, so starting off with arguably the most important job on a football team, the head coach. Now, we got Andy Reid versus Nick Sirianni. And I want to start this off by saying I think Nick Sirianni has done a great job with the Eagles this year. I think that what he's brought to the Eagles these last couple of years has been great. They went from a team that kind of fell off the rails after their first Super Bowl win in 2017 to in less than 2 or 3 years in his time in Philly, have literally submerged himself back on the top of the NFL world. I think that he's done a great job, and I can't say enough. However, it's Andy Reid we're talking about here. Andy Reid is, in my opinion, the best coach in the NFL. Andy Reid has been to the playoffs a million times. Andy Reid has been to the Super Bowl multiple times. Andy Reid has now, as of 2018, won a Super Bowl. Those are all things that Nick Sirianni really hasn't done as a head coach. And so I think by just pure experience standpoint, Andy Reid has them. But then you want to kind of talk about the game planning, the scheming, the play calling, everything like that. Andy Reid, Andy Reid is he's just that guy, right? He's just that guy. So I will have to give a little check mark to the Chiefs, and I will give them the advantage at head coach. All right, now getting into the quarterbacks. And again, I love Jalen. Jalen is my guy. Jalen is the MVP runner up this year. Jalen this year has cemented himself as a superstar in this league, as a franchise quarterback, and he made himself a lot of money this season. But it's Patrick Mahomes. Like, I know I sound like a broken record with the whole Andy Reid saying that the Chiefs have the best, but the Chiefs have the best head coach and the best quarterback, in my opinion. I think you can argue if Andy Reid is the best head coach or not, but I really don't think that there's an argument that Patrick Mahomes isn't the clear and obvious best quarterback in the NFL. He's going to win an MVP this year. He's proven this time and time and time and time again. Similarly to his head coach, been to Super Bowls. This will be his third. Won a Super Bowl. Been to the playoffs a million times. So I have to give the advantage at quarterback to the Chiefs as well. So head coach and quarterback so far going to the Chiefs. Now on to running back. Now running back is a very interesting spot to me because I feel like some teams value their running backs very much, and some teams it's kind of it doesn't really matter. A team like the Eagles who run the ball a lot and are very good at it, I think the running backs are very important. So guys like Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, um, guys like that I think are really important and really provide a another dimension to the offense that a lot of teams don't have. Um, and let's be real, the Eagles are a much more run heavy team than the Chiefs. And I think the running backs reflect that. The running backs are, in my opinion, significantly more talented. Although I do like Isaiah Pacheco, and I do think that he's a dog. He runs very angry. Um, I like the Eagles running backs, so I gotta give running backs to the Eagles. I think that they're more talented than the grouping of Isaiah Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Ronald Jones. I think the Eagles do have them beat at running back. All right, so moving on to the pass catchers. So I did lump in tight ends with receivers. Um, so the reason I did that is because I just feel like pass catchers they kind of are going to be lumped together in this grouping. Um, so here's what I'll say, right? Do the Chiefs have great wide receivers? No, they don't. And Miko Hardman is hurt. I just saw the tweet that he's not going to be able to play the Super Bowl. Kadarius Toney got hurt. Juju Smith-Schuster got hurt. Obviously, Marquez Valdez-Scantling stepped up in the AFC Championship game. But if you look at just receivers, the Chiefs, they don't got much. They do not have much. And in terms of the Eagles, I mean, the Eagles, they got A.J. Brown, who I think is a superstar. They got Devontae Smith, who is fantastic. Um, so receivers, I mean, it's a clear advantage to the Eagles. But you go to tight end, and you think of, okay, the Chiefs have the best tight end in the game, Travis Kelce. Um, and that makes it very interesting for the Chiefs because Travis Kelce is a he's a matchup nightmare. If I could talk, that'd be great. He's a matchup nightmare for any team. He runs like a receiver. He runs routes like a receiver, but he's big as a tight end. And Travis Kelce is obviously the best tight end in the NFL, so makes it very interesting. But the Eagles have no slouch at tight end either. I mean, Dallas Goedert, he's a quality tight end as well. I would put him top 5 or 6 in the league. He's on my fantasy team this year, so obviously I got to show him some love. Um, but the Chiefs obviously have the better tight end. But overall, I think it's clear that the Eagles have the better pass rush, or the better pass rushers, the better pass catchers. It's early, guys. I'm sorry. Like I can't talk today. The Eagles have the better pass catchers for sure, and I believe that in terms of helping out their quarterback, they got in the bag with the running backs and with the wide receivers, like I was saying. All right, guys. So now let's kind of head into the offensive line. I just talked about helping and protecting your quarterback. These are the guys that are going to do it, and these are the guys that are going to make way for the running game, make the pass rushers stay still, so the quarterbacks have time to throw, everything like that. So who has the better offensive line? It's the Eagles, and it's not even close. This is one of the best offensive lines I've ever seen. You got Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson. I mean, those guys are Pro Bowlers, All Pros. Those guys are great. For the Chiefs, they've been kind of banged up this year, a little bit on offensive line, but I do think that Creed Humphrey is a really damn good center. I wanted the Seahawks to take him back in when he was coming out of the draft, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not salty at all. Um, Creed Humphrey's a great center, but I think overall they just do not stack up against the absolutely insane Eagles offensive line. And there's a reason that the Eagles run the ball so damn well. There's a reason that Jalen Hurts doesn't get sacked as much as he does, and it's because of this offensive line, and they're great. And if you haven't already, I would recommend listening to their Christmas album because those boys got pipes. That's all I'm gonna say. Those boys got pipes, and they're about to be blocking for their guy Jalen in the Super Bowl. So hats off to them. They've done incredible work all year, but definitely advantage to the Eagles in terms of offensive line. So now moving on to the defensive line, and this one is again just such a hard matchup for the Chiefs. The Eagles' defensive line is insane this year. Um, I mean, they I think had the third or fourth most sacks ever in a season this year for their defensive line. I mean, come on. You got Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox, the veterans, still kicking it. You got the new free agent acquisition, Hassan Reddick, who literally won them the game in the NFC Championship game, I would say. You got Robert Quinn. You got Jordan Davis. You got Linval Joseph and Dom Sue. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. And the Eagles' defensive line has been giving everybody fits all year. Um, it is. I think the defensive line is the key to any good defense, but especially to the Eagles' defense. I mean, they win up front. They win in the front seven. Um, so just in terms of like the front seven and everything going on there, the Eagles are doing great work. The Chiefs, I wouldn't say that they have a bad defensive line. I actually say it's pretty good. It's definitely the strength of their defense. Chris Jones, who should seriously get some recognition for Defensive Player of the Year. He's been fantastic, doing a lot of great work. Chris Jones is fantastic. Frank Clark, I don't think is amazing, but he always seems to step up in the playoffs, whatever that's worth. And then the rookie George Karlaftis obviously has some talent, but I don't think has fully unlocked himself as a pass rusher yet. But to me, it's very clear and obvious that the Eagles have the advantage at defensive line, and they are going to give the Chiefs' offensive line some fits. So I think when looking at linebackers, I don't think either team. I don't think this is the strength of either team. And that's not to say that these guys are bad. This is just to say that I think that their strengths lie elsewhere. For the Eagles, we got T.J. Edwards playing Mike linebacker with N'Kobe Dean backing him up, and then we got Kazir White at outside linebacker. I think these guys have been good all year. I don't necessarily think that they are the um, the wheel. to how this car spins, but I don't necessarily think that they've held the team back either. So I'll kind of just put them up there. Um, and then in terms of the Chiefs, Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, Leo Chanel, those guys have been solid. It's hard for me to kind of give a definite advantage. Like I think the other few that I just did were definite advantages for the Eagles. I don't think that this one's as obvious. I would give it to the Chiefs, just because I think that they're capable of making some plays. But um, yeah, I would probably give linebackers to the Chiefs, but it's not a very the disparity there is not very high. All right, now for my favorite position group, and that's the DBs. The DBs role in the modern NFL is more important than ever with the pass heavy tendencies that the league is going towards. So who do we got? All right, for the Eagles, they got studs all over the field. They got Darius Slay, they got Avonte Maddox, they got James Bradbury, they've got CJ Gardner Johnson. Those guys are great. Those guys are studs. Those guys are playmakers. Really love that everything that they've been doing over there. They also got Reed Blankenship. And I think that for the Eagles, their whole defense is really good. Their whole defense is really, really good. But the two keys are the defensive line, the pass rush, and then the corners. Darius Slay, if you guys remember, used to play for the Lions. Um, has really found his groove back. I don't want to say that he was bad in previous years, but he's really like taken his game and upgraded it, and become like peak Darius Slay. Same thing with like James Bradbury. James Bradbury released by the Giants last year, picked up by the Eagles. Still don't know why the Giants released him, but that's neither here nor there. Played great. Trading for CJ Gardner Johnson. I think the DBs on the Eagles are the best example of how the team has built with Howie Roseman. I mean, none of those guys are homegrown. I mean, they're all acquired from either free agency or from trade. And I think it just goes to show how important the front office can be and how much it can change the dynamic of a team. So with the Eagles, I mean, they've got guys all over the field that can play. All right, and for the Chiefs DBs are significantly younger. And you look at guys like L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson. Those guys are all young, and those guys are, I wouldn't say rookies anymore because they've played a whole season and almost a quarter because of the 3 or 4 playoff games, but they're still young and they're still in their first seasons. And then you got Justin Reed at safety. I would say the Chiefs defensive backs are very well coached by D coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. Um, but I just don't think they compare to the level of dominance with the Eagles, and I think the Eagles are just too good at DB. So I have to give the advantage to the Eagles there. I have to, I don't really have a choice. But so here's the full list behind me of what I think each team has an advantage at for the Super Bowl. If you guys disagree or if you guys agree, let me know down below. I'll be making sure to read all my comments. If you guys want to see more Super Bowl related content, please comment down below as well. I plan on making this whole week kind of Super Bowl week and doing everything Super Bowl related. So the 2 podcast episodes and the 2 or more videos will be all Super Bowl esque. So if you guys enjoyed, please make sure to subscribe. I look forward to seeing you guys later, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.